Hi everyone, this is Deepa from Rajlaxmi Solutions Private Limited, signing in with the topic appointment letter. Wow, appointment letter is really a very important document for everyone's career. And appointment letter is a simple document which is very important for any HR. Well, today we are going to see this particular topic in two different purviews. One is as an employee, how I should analyze or I should see the document before signing the appointment letter. And number two, as an employer, how I should make the appointment letter. The points to be covered in the appointment letter really matters for every HR. Once you see the full video, you will just get an idea that how an appointment letter can be made. And appointment letter differs from company to company. It depends on the organization how to design the appointment letter. But yes, the basic thing is it is important that the appointment letter should carry all the information, all the important information which relates to the employment and the individual. So this is one purview which we are going to see. So altogetherly, I have already designed an appointment letter, which is for Rajlaxmi Solutions Private Limited. And here we go. This is the appointment letter of Rajlaxmi Solutions Private Limited. The first and the most important thing you are supposed to check is the appointment letter should be on the letterhead of the organization. So this is the first point which has to be noted. It should not be in a blank paper or it should not be in any other's letterhead. So it should be the company's letterhead where you have been appointed. Well, and the next thing is the basic thing, the look of an appointment letter is most important. So you can see the date has been mentioned, that is most important. And at the same time here, the candidate's name, address details, mobile number and email ID is mentioned here. And what is this letter? For that clarification, we have mentioned here the appointment letter. And the next thing you can see here is, so we have addressed the candidate here, and at the same time we have mentioned a pleasure words, that is like we are pleased to inform you that you have been appointed as TDL Junior Developer in our company and your service would commence effectively on 25th June of 2021. So this is a clarity where you are supposed to mention the designation and you are supposed to mention the date of joining of that particular candidate. And as a candidate purview, as an employee purview, the most important thing what you are supposed to see is the designation. Is the designation same at the time of interview what you had discussed? As the date of joining is correctly mentioned on the date you have joined the organization. Well, let's move ahead. So we are eager to have as a part of our company and foresee your potential skills as a valuable contributor to our company. You will be entitled to monthly remuneration of rupees 23,000 and it is mentioned in words as well. So this remuneration is an optional to just give a clarity in the first look itself. So I have mentioned here in this appointment letter on the front of itself. So coming to the next line, that is your salary will be reviewed after a month of every year on the basis of your performance. So we have just mentioned about the PMS also in the front of itself to give a confidence to the employee. And after that, the appointment is subjected to the following terms and conditions. So for any appointment, it is very important that you should mention the policies and the principles of the organization which is related to an employee. Well, this appointment is subjected to certain following terms and conditions. For every organization, the terms and conditions differs accordingly. But I have designed this particular terms and conditions to give a better clarity details here. So the first thing is we have mentioned role and responsibilities of that particular candidate or that particular designation. And once they are in, it is most important that we have to make a document of their KRA. So what we felt is it is very flexible for us to just update it in the appointment itself. That will again give a confidence to the employee also. So in that thought, we have designed the appointment letter in such a way that we have updated the role and responsibility as well into the appointment letter itself. So this is all about the roles and responsibilities of this particular TTL junior developer designation. And coming to the next point, probation period. For any organization, wherever you go, you will be having a certain probation period. That would be a training period, which will really give an idea to the candidate to understand the organization and the work role, as well as the organization will take an opportunity to understand the candidate's strength and skills. So that is the probation period. It is very important. As a HR, you are supposed to understand what probation period is there in our organization. That details are to be mentioned in this particular point. As a candidate, you are supposed to understand how many months you are going to be in the probation period and when you will be receiving the confirmation. So this is an important point which you are supposed to see by both the purviews. So coming to the next point, to avoid the further complications, we have designed here the working hours as well. So into the appointment letter itself. So what will be the maximum and the minimum work hours, that has been updated here. So the candidate has to note from their purview, the HR has to look from their purview. So now coming back to the other point, that is about the leaves. It is very important for a candidate to know what are the leaves they are eligible for, after how many days, or what are the different benefits out of that leave you can just take, like for example, leave encashments, etc. So those details is also one of the most important thing. So that explanation or that description has to be given by one or the other way. And the next point I can say is we are mostly based on sales and marketing. So when we are based on sales and marketing, there are many ups and downs. The employees' stability is a little low, I can say. So there what happens, the without information leave, or to understand what is the sanctioned leave, or to understand what leaves are treated as without pay, etc. So that clarity is very important. So we have updated in the appointment letter to take up that clarity. And the next point I can say here is that is termination and notice period. Termination and notice period is again a very important part to understand by the HR purview as well as by the candidate purview. It is very important to know all the policies and procedures to quit the organization, what they are supposed to do. So here the notice period details are mentioned in our organization, as well as I can say if there is any mishandling or if there is any misbehavior in the organization, we can move ahead with the termination over the candidate. So that details has been mentioned here. This is also one of the most important concept which a HR should mention very clearly to any candidate who are getting in, and it is most important for the employee also to understand all these points, because if they are looking out for a better exposure or they wanted to quit the organization, it is important to finish off the projects or to hand over in the right way and quit the job. And the next point we can see non-disclosure. Non-disclosure is nothing but the company, any company would have certain confidential information or details, whether it might be in terms of data, whether it might be in terms of compensation, whether it might be in terms of an agreement, etc. So any candidate, those who are onto those terms, they are supposed to keep those things confidential. So that point we have mentioned it here. And the next thing is generic information, like for example, if the document verification goes on wrong, or if there is any change in the residential address, or any information mismatches what has been told in the interview and the documents has been submitted and the reality. If we find the reality is different, then at any moment we can take action against that candidate. So, and along with that we have updated certain points here onto the generic things. And even one more important point comes onto this, that is disciplinary issue as well as the responsibility that is onto the role which we had given, that has to be that has to be taken overview all the time in a right way. So all these details have been mentioned in the generic information. So generic information is something which you can update as per your organization. So here comes the end of the points what we have updated there. And lastly, you are requested to return the enclosed copy duly signed as a token of acceptance of the terms and conditions of your employment. Hope this will be the beginning of a long and successful career with us. So this is something to be mentioned for the candidate, that they are supposed to sign this particular document. Here the HR manager will be signing, and here you are supposed to sign. The candidate signature would be here. That too you are supposed to sign after reading the complete terms and conditions of the organization. If you have any doubts, you are supposed to walk into HR and discuss onto the points, and then only you are supposed to sign. And now coming back to the very important part, that is, I have an enclosed annexure here. So now let us see what is that annexure. That is salary breakup. So now I'm supposed to see what is the salary breakup. This is one of the most important component for any organization or for any candidate. So here you can see the salary breakup. That is the name, designation, department, and date of joining will be mentioned here. That should be correct. You are supposed to cross verify. And apart from that, you can see here the annual CTC and the current CTC has been mentioned, and the bifurcations of the salary has been mentioned. That is the breakups are being mentioned here. That is basics, HRA, LTA, and the professional tax, the deductions has been mentioned. I would wish to tell you here that there are so many components still which will be added here. Just to give an overview, I have just added few components, wherein here there are many components like ESI, PF, or any other medical benefits, any other benefits. Those benefits also will be included in this particular salary breakup chart. And the next thing is, we have, as we are part of sales and marketing, we have mentioned two parts here. One is a generic, that is salary shall be paid after deduction as per the income tax. Okay. And the second point is something mentioned, that the performance linked incentive will be based on performance, and that is payable yearly. Annually, we will be paying once as the performance incentives. Okay. So, and the last thing, that is the HR signature would be here, and the right side, the candidate are supposed to sign here. So here altogether you can see there are two different signatures the candidate are supposed to do. One is here accepting the breakup, and the second one is here as acceptance of the terms and conditions. So altogether the acceptance of appointment letter. So altogether this is the appointment letter design, and here you had seen as a HR purview, as a candidate purview also. So the common thing here between the HR and the candidate is the details are supposed to be taken very seriously, and it has to be mentioned very seriously, and after reading only the candidate or the HR manager has to sign the document. Specifically now these concepts has been changed completely virtually. So virtually people are getting appointment, virtually people are accepting appointment. So there are different processes for that. Shortly I'll be coming up with those videos as well. Yes, here we are done with today's topic. If you have any questions, request you to please update me onto my email ID, or else you can please comment in the comment section as well, or else you can even connect onto my contact number. And thank you so much for your valuable time onto this video, and I hope this learning would be really productive for you. Thank you so much. Stay tuned. See you soon in the next learning. Stay confident and stay safe. Take care. Bye-bye.